Hey guys, and welcome back to PXH, also known as PureXHeart. Chris here. Tonight, we're here to celebrate the PXH Awards. And guys, I am so excited that you guys are all here to join us.
Don't forget about me. Don't forget about me. We're not all here yet. And I had to go also grab the PureXHeart Award itself that Chris made. Great job, Chris, on that. My name's Jesse, since he didn't want to introduce the person who wasn't in the room yet.
Yeah, I was
so excited to be here with you guys.
I was hoping that this wasn't going to be a thing, but I guess it is a thing.
Wow. Well, you know, I just show up every week. You haven't technically put me on staff. I don't see a paycheck, so, you know.
Yeah, I'm also not paid either. We're unpaid interns from my own company.
There you go.
We do it for Jesus. Jesus is our boss.
Yes, exactly.
Ding.
But tonight is the PureXHeart Awards. We're so excited. You know, you hear us talk about all the time. We're talking about changing the culture. We talk movies. We talk books. Some books.
Why are we talking about books? I've never talked about a book.
We talked about books during the Progressive Christianity episode. We talked about that little leaflet that they had.
Yeah, I still never talked about a book. I don't read
Well, technically,
books.
Me and Aaron were doing most of the talking on that episode.
I don't read books, Jesse.
They read you! But
I read the Bible. That's the only book we should ever read.
Amen. Chris talks about movies a lot on the PXH YouTube channel.
I talk about albums, Jesse, which is a main aspect about the PXH.
Yes,
guys.
Exactly.
These people know. You don't know. That's why I didn't invite you onto the pod on this YouTube celebrating the PXH Awards, because it's the PXH Awards. It's PXH, okay, baby,
baby, boom. So yeah, we're gonna get into that. We got some great nominees. We're gonna get into really here shortly. As you can tell, we're kind of just walking in on this, but we're gonna do something really neat that we've never done before.
Wait, what are we doing? I've never heard about this.
You've heard of the Thanos snap. You've seen us play with the anti-life equation. We've even flown in a rocket ship. If you listened on the podcast, but right now we're gonna time travel. Let's get into it. I definitely want to hear what Chris has to say, what his thoughts are about the podcast that we've done together. We'd love to hear your thoughts as well. You can add us on social media at PXH Culture. You can also do hashtag change the culture, hashtag PXH Awards, whatever you guys want to do, we'll see it.
And that's what we like. We just like this community that we've gathered, where there just be regular people that have just enjoyed PXH, whether it be in our circle or outside of our circle, or even just worship bands or bands in general, which is kind of want to change culture. We kind of want to go this all in with Jesus type of situation, which, we're not ending.
And as you can tell, you've heard our voices. You may have seen a couple of our videos before. We're just two introverts, two socially awkward guys who love Jesus.
I'm not socially awkward. I am.
Oh boy.
The most outgoing person that you guys have ever met in your entire life. Because who would ever say, "Let's go, boy"?
All right, Chris. So I think it's about time we get into these nominees and we announce some winners. So what do you think we should start with?
Well, obviously, if you want to do a little bit of fun, I got my little trusty phone. Okay, I promise you, my phone won't fall this time. So our first nominee is for Best Movie, and here are your nominees.
Here are your nominations for the PXH Awards for the category Best Movie.
Our first nominee, the Netflix original Tick, Tick, Boom. Our second nominee, The Last Duel. Our third nominee, Spider-Man, No Way Home. Third nominee, the Netflix original movie, Red Notice. And our final nominee, Raya and the Last Dragon.
And those are your nominees for the PXH Awards category Best Movie.
The winner for the best movie for PXH Awards.
I think first off, I need to mention this. We didn't talk about this yet. The best award maker goes to Chris Brundage because he worked on this himself. He's
No, I bought
amazing.
this. I totally bought this from.
No, you didn't.
Someone was literally selling the PXH. Awards.
Someone was selling PXH Awards. No, my friend right here, so creative. I'm really appreciative of him. He made the award himself. But Chris, winner of the best movie is.
Well, the winner of the best movie is Jesse, Raya, and
The Last Dragon.
yes, congratulations to Raya and The Last Dragon.
Disney does it again.
Yes.
Great Pixar movie? Was that a Pixar movie?
No, it's just a Disney, a Disney regular,
animation.
Yeah, just a regular Disney
wow.
animation, and it's kind of fitting that. I mean, we both love animation. It's kind of fitting that our first movie award goes to an animated movie. Now, there are some movies that we saw that were oh my goodness. For me personally, I thought Tick Tick Boom might win, or even Spider-Man No Way Home might have won.
I mean, I saw that movie I think 3 times in theaters.
Yeah,
and you got on to me for spending so much money there. You're like, dude, yeah, stop. Save money.
Basically.
But I was like, dude, it's so awesome. There's only so many times you can look out. So there's only a few movies where I've gone to theaters and just seen audience reactions so massively. Yeah. No Way Home was just very didn't win.
I'm going to stop you there.
Okay.
The winner did not go to No Way Home, Jesse. The winner went to Raya and The Last Dragon.
Yeah, I was just saying the reason why No Way Home
you
did
literally
not
just
win.
had a Kanye moment right there. You had a Kanye moment. Okay, we are sorry, Raya and The Last Dragon. He had the Kanye moment.
I did.
And if you guys don't understand, we don't mean the other Kanye moment that has been happening recently. We mean the Kanye... I'm sorry, that's bad.
Okay, you're having a Kanye moment about Kanye. So let's talk about Raya. Raya is another story of kids whose parents dies, and then the kid returns later on and saves the world. That's the short end of the stick. You need to go see that movie. It's fantastic.
Well, it's a very good Chinese mythology or just Asian mythology movie where I cried during some of that movie, and it was the movie about trusting other people, and it was just very, very surprising. I was actually it was probably a big, huge upset for me. I had a feeling that I might win, though, because it was still a really, really, really good movie.
It was a good movie. It's one of the few movies where I walk in and I look over and Chris is over there having a little teary moment. He's like, Jesse, you need to watch this. Okay, Chris, of course. But so, yeah, it had all the emotions appropriate for a children's movie, but it also had enough to where an adult can watch it and appreciate, again, the mythology and just
nice, good
story.
Animated movie.
It was a great story.
It was.
It wasn't cheesy. It was just perfection.
And obviously, it was kind of like a Chinese proverb right there, in my opinion. It had very Chinese proverbs area. I like that.
There you go.
So
that is our winner for the PXH Best Movie Award.
And our next nominee, I guess. Yeah. I think that's the correct word. This is our first
winner
award.
And the next thing that we're going to have an award for.
Yes, there we go. Is our best worship song of 2021. And here are your
nominees.
The nominations for the PXH Awards category: Best Worship Song.
Our first nominee, Back to Life by Bethel Music. Our second nominee, Love Goes On by ICF Worship. Our third nominee, Hope of the Ages by Hillsong Worship. Our fourth nominee, Just As Good by Chris Renzeme featuring Ellie Holcomb. And our final nominee, Jireh by Elevation Worship and Maverick City Music.
And those are your nominations for the PXH Awards category: Best Worship Song.
All right, those were some great songs there, Chris.
Yes, I love those songs. Sadly, we could not play some of those songs because copyright issues. Thank you, YouTube. We love you.
We really do thank you. But, there's just some great songs. You need to check them out, all of them out on Spotify.
You do.
We had such a tough discussion trying to figure out the winner for this one. Because, big thing for PXH. We want to look at the lyrics. We want to look at the theology, the reasoning behind the story of the songs. That's why.
We're just trying to find some good nominations for that. Like
when we had a 2-hour talk one night. We were like 3 a.m. trying to find this.
There were some really, really good ones. Obviously, those were our nominees for our really, really good ones for our worship songs of the year. And obviously, we had to include some popular ones just because, you got to include some ones.
Because we did want to get your take, and we didn't want people just voting on a song title that they've never heard of or may not want to take the time to go listen to Spotify. All these songs are fantastic, and you have heard of them. You've definitely heard Chris talk about them on the YouTube channel side.
I did each and every one of these albums. I don't really talk about songs. So, our winner for Best Worship Song of the Year of 2021 is...
Love! Well, I was going to have him do it in the round. Love Goes On, Chris. It's an ICF worship song.
Love goes on because of Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Amen.
It's all about the X. But ICF worship, man, they had such a great song this past year. And it wasn't even just the fact that it was praising Jesus, because that's the number one thing. Number two is the solo. And what was the solo of?
It was the best solo in the entire world, the saxophone solo.
Yes.
And hopefully we get ICF's permission so we can actually put the saxophone solo onto here. Let's go, boy.
So I can't wait to hear more from ICF hopefully next year. They might win 2022's best song if they're releasing their song.
I mean, it'll be a really, really tough choice. We got some really good stuff that have already been released in 2022 for... really good worship songs.
Casting Crowns? No, not so much.
I mean, Liggett Woods, her album.
Yeah,
her album
very,
actually
very
really
true.
good.
Very true.
Yes, not the passionate one. And our next nomination, or whatever that we like to say, our next category. Here on the PXH Awards, it's...
Well, of course, as the music is audibly playing,
why do we got all this steam happening / not happening?
Please stop making this so weird. I mean, we're already close enough here. It's only appropriate to do it this way. The next category is the best spiritual sauna moment of 2021.
Well, it's really the best spiritual sauna volume, Jesse.
Well, that is very true, because we don't do episodes, we do volumes of spiritual saunas.
Because why would we do an episode whenever we already do regular episodes? Because that makes no sense for a spiritual sauna episode.
Well, if you'll let me finish. The best spiritual sauna volume of 2021 was...
Well, here are your categories.
Oh, here are your nominees of the volumes, Christopher. I know I'm speaking slow.
Yes, you are. But you're like, what is the winner? We're like, we need to get to the nominees, boys.
I'm already ahead of you. It's the time-twisting nonsense that happens only on the PureXHeart Podcast. Here are the nominees.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in this evening to the very first PXH Spiritual Sauna Moment.
Alright, Jesse, so what is this spiritual sauna moment that we like to have on here?
Alright, so we're going to be talking about weird and good, but true spiritual thoughts that can be our own, ones that we've looked online this week, and also what we might have heard from people we've conversated with during the week. Could be a line from a song. Maybe it was something that our pastor said, or something that the worship leader sang.
Yes, and today on the spiritual sauna, we are going to talk about really the song Another in the Fire, and of how we are more than conquerors in Christ.
So welcome in, sit down, sit tight, as I delve into this week's topic.
And on this very special episode of the spiritual sauna, we'll be talking about what? if you worship cows?
Where?
You probably don't eat cows.
Why not?
If you worship Jesus, you probably do eat Jesus.
What? The spiritual sauna.
Spiritual sauna.
Chris, why don't you tell us what our episode's going to be about?
Thank you, Jesse. On this episode of the spiritual sauna of this number 3, that's the spiritual sauna that we are doing. We're going to be talking about what? Rather than asking what's next for my life, we need to focus on what can I do for Jesus, glorifying God and who He is. We'll be talking about what do we truly believe in. Very, very simple, guys. And on this lovely spiritual sauna, we are talking about on the topic of being careful of who you pretend to be. You might forget of who thou art.
Ooh. And, of course, you are who you pretend to be. So be careful about what you pretend to be.
Except, Jesse, that's a quote, and you did not give proper name. At least mine doesn't really have a proper name. Mine's Anon.
Mine is by Kurt Vonnegut.
Alright, Chris, and we're back here again
We are.
with our best of the spiritual saunas. Now, we just heard the nominees, and these are weird, odd, quirky
But
topics that we may have
interesting.
heard at any point in time.
But they're also very spiritual, and they make you go, huh, I didn't think about that. But it's
And they're
very
not
nice.
shower thoughts, because you can't say that in a Bible study room or whatever.
No, you have to have a spiritual sauna, because we can't have a spiritual shower. That would be like, oh, get out of here.
That's kind of dirty. But yeah, so our winner for the best spiritual sauna episode, though, Chris, what was our pick from both the listeners and from us, our judges?
Well, there's one that we kind of went on about. You know, there's kind of one that we kind of talked about.
Mm-hmm.
There's kind of one that we're just like, we like this, and we need to have this one. Because it's the one that we're just like, this kind of embodies literally everything about what a spiritual sauna is, and it's kind of also embodies of everything about why our minds are weird the way that they are weird. And that would only have to be incompetence, or whatever, encapsulates.
That doesn't sound like a sauna word. Incompensate and all the My mind doesn't think that when I'm in the sauna, Chris. I'm thinking like, gosh, it's hot in here.
Well, this is the one that's just like, you know, huh. And that would have to be Spiritual Sauna Volume 2. If you eat cows, you probably don't worship cows. But if you eat Jesus, you probably worship Jesus.
That's true.
Essentially, that's what it says.
I think you got the last
Right
part of the
there.
title a little backwards. I think if you worship Jesus, you should probably eat Jesus. And
That's
we had the topic conversation because I was concerned. I was really concerned about you there. We had to talk about cannibalism and make sure that you weren't going to eat me randomly. You know, 'cause-
The jury's still out on that. I'm kidding. We won't go that far.
Wow. And then we had a total what moment on that episode, and Chris did that exact same face. So I'm good at that's what makes us a great team. We're good at shocking each other.
Yeah, well, he also gets really, really loud, and I have very, very sensitive ears. I'm a very, very sensitive person.
You are.
Yes, I am.
But yes,
The award for Spiritual Sauna goes to Spiritual Sauna Volume 2. So here you go. And here to collect the award is us, because this is ours.
yes, this is us. But yeah, so yeah, if you haven't heard that episode, please go back and listen to it. And if you agree with us, we want to hear your comments still at PXH Culture.
Yes.
Hashtag PXH Culture, hashtag Change the Culture, hashtag Spiritual Sauna. However you want to contact us, you can check it out in the bio link. All right, so we're back here for the award show.
Man, this is a long awards show.
Hey, there's a lot longer that we could go. We could have performances of the songs, salutes to former artists. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Mandisa just walking in, or Chris Renzema walking in?
Could you just imagine award shows that actually do this? Like, why? Just why?
Hey, at least we have, real banter and stuff. We're not just have stuff written for us down.
Yes, and we take time with these nominations and our categories. Speaking of categories, Jesse, what do we got for our next category?
All right, up next we have the best song of the year.
Of 2021.
Of 2021. Of all time. Of 2021.
Of all time!
So, since we're time travelers and all that stuff.
Yes, we are time travelers,
But
so
Chris,
this may be the one.
We have to get into the nominees.
And here are your nominees.
Here are your nominations for the PXH Awards for the category Best Song.
Our first nominee, Joyful by Dante Bowie. Our second nominee, Love Goes On by ICF Worship. Our third nominee, Blue Flower by the Grey Havens. Our fourth nominee, Dragons by Remedy Drive. And our final nominee, Gyra by Elevation Worship and Maverick City Music.
Those are your nominees for the PXH Awards category Best Song.
Chris, I'm insulted. I am purely insulted.
Why are you insulted?
Why wasn't any of my songs that I sang on the podcast a nominee this year?
Like the Gregorian chant?
Oh my gosh, you love that. You
No,
made
that
you
was
love me
awful.
so much.
Or the Begat. The Begat song.
The Begat rap.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm ready for the next one of those. Because there's so many. We have to do the book of, let's think. The book of 1 Kings or 2 Kings. The Chronicles. That's the ones I'm thinking of. I could be like, David begat Solomon.
Let's not do that.
But anyway, you guys just heard who the real nominees are.
Yes, the really true nominees. And so, do you want to say winner or do I want to say what the winner?
I'll allow you, sir. And tell us why the winner of the best song is
Blue Flower by the Grey Havens. Now, this is kind of funny because we are wearing blue, but that has no indication of why they won at all. I'm actually being for real, guys.
and also, it's not because we are big Lord of the Rings fans either, because if you didn't know, the Grey Havens is where the hobbits and the former ring bearers go after the Ring of Power is destroyed. They go into the new lands to escape the evil that has befallen Middle-earth and start anew. So, yeah.
This is true. Yeah. Some fun stuff.
It's some good stuff.
It is
yeah.
fun stuff.
So Grey Havens, congratulations on that.
Yes, congratulations, the Grey Havens. You have the PXH Awards for Best Song of the Year. And the reason, normally for like a Grammy type of situation, they'll have this a little bit later, but again, songs aren't really our mainstay. It's our later categories that are kind of like, these are our jams, like right here. This is kind of like what our pillar, quote unquote, for PXH as a brand, most likely kind of goes off with, because we still got more categories.
All right. Some good times tonight, Chris.
Yes, we have had some good times. But we're not finished yet. Bye, bye.
Bye, bye. Up next, Chris, this is an award that's near and dear to our hearts. This is
how is it near and dear? It's just the best artist of the year award, Jesse. It's not anything. It's just the best artist of the year.
Yeah, it's fantastic. The artists who put out this great music, because these are artists that we're picking above. We're not picking the copyright king, Chris Tomlin, or Casting Crowns.
He may be a nominee, Jesse.
He is not a nominee. I would quit.
I might just put him in here just to be that nominee. But here are your nominees for Best Artist of the Year.
The nominations for the PXH Awards category, Best Artist.
Our first nominee, Maverick City Music. Our second nominee, Remedy Drive. Our third nominee, John Foreman. Our fourth nominee, Dante Bowie. And our final nominee, Hillsong Worship.
And those are your nominations for the PXH Awards category, Best Artist.
Good stuff right there, Chris.
It is good stuff. I love some of these artists. Some of these artists are like...
In fact, none of the artists sound like that. Just kidding.
Some of them do, Jesse.
Some of them do, but they got other music playing on top of that. That's just the rhythm section. You must have your bass turned up in your car really loud. That's all you hear.
Of course, that's why it's going... It sounds like a Inception
sounds like
album.
Oh, okay. It sounds like Inception album?
Yeah, the Inception album by Hans Zimmer. Really good
Okay,
movie.
that's a great movie. But we're not talking about that movie, because that's way back when, before we became
Also,
the show.
why are you talking about movies, Jesse? That's kind of weird.
You totally just brought that up. But yeah, there can only be one Best Artist of the Year, obviously for the winner. But for us, there was no question about this, really. And the voters blew this one out of the water.
This one was just hands down this artist. I mean, it kind of makes sense. 2021 was a huge year for this artist.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't mean that as in with one of our other nominees as a joke, but we actually mean this with sincere congratulations to our Best Artist of the Year, who is...
Hashtag for He Is Foreman, John Foreman, lead singer of
Himself.
Switchfoot and solo album.
Yes. Yeah. He had a really, really good Switchfoot album and maybe an even better album.
Overall, I do think that his solo album was a little bit better.
Yeah.
The Switchfoot album, we're just kind of breaking into it, it felt like they went back to their original days, back when they were just young kids, so it's great that they can explore that. And then on his own album, it just feels like he took it up another notch,
Yeah,
Chris.
he really did. I think that's why I was a little bit more disappointed into the Switchfoot album, just because of how maybe good that Departures album was. Is a nominee for our Best Album of the Year, which will be our last category of the night. But it's not our next category. This is our next category. Our next category is Best Podcasts, episode 1 through 34. Somewhat. But it's not all of them.
So many episodes. Like, oh my goodness. How many hours are we up to? We're up to a couple of days now.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think we talked about this. I think we're like a day and a half. A little bit over a day and a half now.
No, we're almost to 2 days.
Almost to 2 days?
Yes, we are.
That's what an hour, a day and a half is. What a day and a half.
No,
Almost 2 days.
We're past a day and a half, Jesse, which is literally a day and plus 12 hours, okay? This is almost 2 days, which is 36 hours, like 40 hours, or like 42 hours. Not a day and a half. It'd be like a day and 3/4 right there, okay? Fine, a day and 3/4. You better with that?
I'm better with that. That's
okay,
better.
fine. I should know. I edit these.
Yes, and you are glad for punishment because you love just hearing my voice and your own voice, which would kill me.
Yes, this is true. It's been a long day, people.
Yeah, it has, but
because we literally had to listen to these podcast episodes 1 through 34 in just one day.
Right. Yeah.
Just one.
We took half. We took half. we each took half of the episode. So then we had a little debate.
I'm kidding. No, we didn't. We didn't do that at all. No, these were.
Wait a minute. I did the homework. Are you telling me that was a joke?
Yes. Duh.
Oh my gosh! Why do you guys do that to me?
Why did you do that? Okay. I mean, I love the podcast.
You just literally sent me a text. Hey, we're gonna split up the list of episodes. Why don't we do that to get a great episode? A great winner. I get the gullible co-host award, evidently.
Yeah, you get the Get Your Life Together award.
Okay. So, what would you say is our best episode?
Well.
And what did our viewers say as well?
Yeah, well, we would get nominees, but this one's kind of like...
We're not going to play... This will be the longest YouTube video ever.
We could play short snippets of that, but that still would be pretty long. So, we could just include just all of them just in a really long list, like just right now.
The winner, where I really felt like Chris and the listeners agreed because all their comments that they offered, the advice.
Yeah, that's why I didn't
after the
listen
episode.
to all the episodes, because literally the listeners brought this episode to life. Because they're like, boys, this is the best one. Yeah, boy, let's go.
Let's go. So, it was a topic where we really began to hit our stride, was what you guys said, and a couple other people have said that our teamwork and just hitting the topics, all the grand points of the topics, was our Progressive Christianity episode.
Yes, that is also featuring one of our special guest friends, and also the one that literally designed the official PXH logo, not the weird updated ones that I kind of do and just mess around here and there, but the actual legit PXH logo. But yes, Progressive Christianity episode featuring Aaron was our winner for our best podcast episode. It's just like what Jesse said. It's kind of the one that we kind of got into a little bit more of our stride. We kind of understood where we were going for podcast, even though we kind of had a more idea of where we wanted to go with this podcast. And I feel like with our 2022 episodes, they just kind of a little bit also more better than our 2021 episodes just already.
Yeah.
We had that one really, really long series with our personality type test that we just went through. And then we have some really fun ones here and there. Or What the Words are always very fun.
Yeah.
They weren't really part of the nominees or even our album battles, which I still believe is also probably one of our best series that we actually really, really
Because we get to relive some of the best days of music, because we're picking two of the best albums, in our opinions.
Yes.
We each pick an album and they go head to head.
Yeah. But, if we had to choose... What was your best album battle that we actually did?
I honestly think it would have been the first ones, one of the first ones with Reliant K.
Yeah, Reliant K. The Jars of Clay was also really, really fun. It was really fun listening to and going back to.
We had a lot of feedback from Jars of Clay fans on those. So, yeah.
The Soda Mac one, that was interesting.
That was hard. I remember that trying to pick that day between Mercy Me, Casting Crowns, Toby Mac. It was. Wait, what? It was great. Trying to pick for that episode, and we finally picked Toby, and then just,
I'm glad we didn't pick Mercy Me. Oh my goodness.
Remember we tried to listen to their early 90s stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Yes. Didn't we also decide that our next album battle should be a Chris Tomlin one, right?
Yeah.
Good, because I didn't.
I think it would have to be Chris Tomlin versus whoever's music he copyrighted from.
So, everyone.
Chris
Tomlin versus the world. The world is on fire.
That'd be a great worship song. Especially nowadays. There you go.
Well, Jesse.
Yes, Chris.
It is now time for our main event of the evening.
Oh my God! Calm down, you're scaring me.
Let's go!
Cannibalistic Chris is coming out. Anyway.
I told you it was going to be a surprise.
You did. Our final category, Chris.
Our main event category. At least that's what I like to call it. Because it's our best one.
it's what we do. It's what Chris started out the entire PXH brand doing.
Yeah.
I wanted to change the culture, find the best albums.
Even though it was more of, just talking about worship music in general. That's why huge worship songs, and we had a category for worship songs. That's a huge staple, and that's what I wanted to do. But it's just been easier just to talk about different albums because, we've had some really, really good ones. We've had some rap albums last year, like in 2020 with Lecrae and KB. That was just in 2020. And then for this year, we have some really, really good ones, which we'll get into the nominees just a little bit later. And it was also the reason why we have this one as our main event, because it was also, it's kind of our closest one to battle, especially between two albums that were just really, they were just getting really, really neck and neck in there. We'll talk about both albums just a little bit later. But with this albums, our best albums of the year, is the first one that we posted onto the socials of the PXH Awards. So it's just it kind of makes sense to end it with the PXH albums of the year. We kind of, and we mainly talk about albums. One of our best series is an album battle. It's literally just two albums going head to head to head. So why not end it with albums going head to head to head to head to head?
Fireworks.
Fatal five-way match.
Oh my gosh. How many people can we have in one single ring? Well, these are albums that are totally worth it. Chris, how did we pick these albums? Why did we pick these albums compared to all the mainstream Christian albums?
Well, these were the albums that kind of really just stood out, whether it be people just talking about them just from their day-to-day lives, or even just seeing it just from comment sections. Also kind of where we got some for these nominees, especially for Best Movie of the Year, because I didn't really review some of these movies, but it was also from people that actually got the Oscar snub. So if people were wondering from movies why we choose those, that's why we choose those. But for these albums, there are ones that we would also go back to and listen to. A lot of them be some ones that people would also go back to and listen to a lot of these albums. Probably some more than others, but it's also ones that kind of affected our lives in a better way. And also a lot of these songs were just ones that we just came back to, and also albums as a whole where we were just there's just something special about some of these albums that we really enjoyed. That's the way my thoughts were about, choosing the best album.
Yeah, absolutely. And without further ado, here are your nominees.
The nominations for the PXH Awards category, Best Album.
Our first nominee, #ChooseToLive by Amongst Wolves. Our second nominee, Departures by John Foreman. Our third nominee, Choose to Praise by ICF Worship. Our fourth nominee, Old Church Basement by Elevation Worship and Maverick City Music. And our final nominee, Imago Moye by Remedy Drive.
And those are the nominations of the PXH Awards category, Best Album.
And we are back here with the winner of the main events of the Best Album of the PXH Awards.
And your new reigning, defending, best album of the year is
Departures by
John Foreman.
Yes. He was the winner for Best Artist of the Year, John Foreman, Departures.
My throat hurts a little bit now. That happens a lot.
Yeah, that was actually really, really loud. Departures by John Foreman is the best album of the year. It was one of the ones that got a praise hands for a PXH review. It's really, really good. It's still a really good album. I go back to it now and then again.
And you just get to hear John Foreman himself just shine. You don't have other instrumentalists. I mean, he has some guests who kind of appear, but it's him getting to be himself and just freely think, freely write lyrics that mean something to him.
Yeah, and there's just different avenues for the album. You know, you got this amazing first song of The Ocean Beyond the Sea. You got one of my favorite songs, Red and Gold, which is literally just about the streets of California. This album also had a really good, tough competition that we do have to mention, just because this band is a really, really cool. They really support PXH, and they almost took Album of the Year. They almost became the underdogs. They had a really, really good fight, and that is we have to mention this because no matter what, this is a really, really good band, and we are really, really excited. And I actually, honestly, personally, really, truly still love this album. I still go back to some of those songs, and that would have to be #Choose to Live by We Are Amongst Wolves, which was literally just an out of the blue album. Just for me, even listening to it and even to reviewing it, I didn't realize it was going to be as good as I thought it was.
Now, I heard your review. I was like, maybe I'll go listen to it. And then I listened to it. I was like, wow, this is really good. I'd love to see them open up for Skillet or any number of bands.
Any number of bands. We are really excited to see about We Are Amongst Wolves. Future is, have done some really, really good stuff. They're definitely a band that you guys definitely need to check out and also follow on Instagram and do all the fun stuff for them, as you do for PXH. Okay, if they have a YouTube channel, go subscribe to the YouTube channel, people. Get your life together,
because we need more music videos.
Yes, we do. There. Yeah, Jesse, you want to talk about any more about Departures by John Foreman?
It's just a fantastic album. If you haven't heard it, you need to go out and listen to it. It's unlike Switchfoot. Like, if you want something that has the voice of Switchfoot without sounding like Switchfoot, you need to check out some of his stuff. Because it's a different side of him where he gets to just freely explore his other artistic interests. I'd call it different, much like Kevin Max's solo stuff from DC Talk and things.
Yes, but a little bit better, in my opinion, than the Kevin Max stuff.
Well, yeah, each to their own. I love John Foreman. I love Kevin Max. I love Michael Sweet of Stryper. So I have to throw my support there for my 80s peoples. But anyway, John Foreman, #for he is Foreman. He led that revolution for us and that hashtag line last year. We're going to keep that going because we really are big fans. But
that's not the reason why I want people to calm down in those comment sections.
No, it wasn't just that. It was
a multitude of things, and his album is really, really good.
And just to show you how close it was between We Are Amongst Wolves and John Foreman, it was like 15 votes for John Foreman online to 13 votes for We Are Amongst Wolves. It was way close.
It was probably a little bit closer than we'd expect. I figured Remedy Drive, Among Amore might have, gotten to second place, but no, it's just that We Are Amongst Wolves just like, booyah.
We're here to stay. We got staying power.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see what's coming out from both John Foreman and We Are Amongst Wolves going in the future. And Remedy Drive. Remedy Drive is still going strong.
Yeah. But we'd also have to like to thank all the nominees for the PXH Awards. We really enjoyed listening to you guys, or even watching you guys. And yes, also listening to us, because I enjoyed that.
we enjoy that. We have a good time together. We get on each other's nerves. We laugh. But yeah, it's a great time.
Well, besides us, all the other people, ICF, huge shout out to them. We Are Amongst Wolves, huge shout outs. John Foreman, huge shout out. #for
free is Foreman,
baby. Good shout out for Rhea and the Last Dragon. Shout out to the Grey Havens, and basically every other people that were nominated and also won awards for the PXH Awards. We thank you guys.
Yeah.
And we love you guys.
Thank you so much. Well, until next time, Chris.
Go on with Jesus.
And change the culture.
Boom.
Bye.
Boom.